Paranormal Evidence.
Tonight, see what truly exists inside the world of the paranormal. Join the discussion and review some of the best paranormal evidence captures from a wide variety of experienced and up-and-coming investigators. See and hear what they capture, where they captured it, and how they captured it. Right now on Entity Voices
Paranormal Evidence.
Live.
Good evening and welcome to Entity Voices Paranormal Evidence. I'm Tony Rathman, and my wife, unfortunately, has been pushed back into doing overtime, so she is not able to attend tonight. But I'll let the rest of the cast continue to introduce themselves.
Chris Allgood?
Audra Keeler.
Lourdes Gonzalez.
Anya Gavetti. And Tony's not here, and I'm very sad about that.
Why are we singing?
I don't know. I had a feeling you were feeling that way. I don't know what it was, but glad you said it. Got it off your chest. That
We miss her.
Yeah.
Always.
I was trying to convince her to come on tonight. She's like, I just can't. I have too much to get done, and I understand. Not the same without her, but we will survive. So tonight's show is going to be a fun one for a variety of reasons. One, we're going to be going over some of our own captures, which to me is great because we know where we captured it, how we captured it, what was going on, all the details behind it. So it makes for, more of an in-depth discussion on what we're looking at. But we have EVPs from Chris and Audra from the Montgomery house. We have some spirit box stuff from Cherie and I. And of course, we've got some great DRV captures from Ron and Lourdes we're going to go over tonight. So really looking forward to that. So let me start out just by thanking everyone who joins us. Looks like we've got quite a group already, and it's just started. So thank you all for
Thank you.
Thank
Our
you.
audience rocks.
Yes. Okay, I have lost my mouse. There we go. It reappeared. Okay, I'm going to share the screen because it is easier if I play these via a shared screen.
Katie Holte, hello. Dan Davidson, hello. Claudine,
Hello, Dan.
Jenkins, Anthony
Hello, Katie.
Seminelli over there watching us over here.
And
Dan
Cherie
Davidson just jumped in.
is
Awesome.
joining us too.
Ronald's here.
Hey, Ronald, Bobby Burgess.
Awesome. Absolutely
cool
awesome.
people.
All right, so the first clips I'm going to start with, as soon as I find out where I put my glasses, will be yours, Chris and Audra.
Yeah.
And the one I'm going to play first is titled Come Closer to Me. You want to give a little intro on this one?
Oh, this is an oldie but a goodie. This was Tony and I and Cherie and Audra at the Phelps Dodge Hospital, the Copper Canyon Paranormal Research Center, before those effers sold it and got rid of it.
Yes, but let me make an announcement. The Copper Canyon Paranormal Research Center will be investigated by Destination Fear,
Yay.
shown this Saturday. I don't remember the time.
I don't either.
I don't either. We watched it on Discovery.
Yeah, it's
Well,
on
it's
both
very
Discovery
cool.
Plus and Travel Channel. But if you get a chance, you want to see about the place that we're always talking about, they are actually had investigated, and it premieres Saturday, November 20th.
And let me say, they did it one time We've
right.
done it
Multiple
hundreds.
times.
That's right.
Exactly. All right. So let me play this clip. Here it comes. Maybe. Let me restart
again.
that. Yep. Here it is. I heard that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Tony and I were upstairs, and we were near the surgery center on this one. And there was only 2 times, because I make it pretty clear I don't like being touched, because I don't like my personal energy being invaded by entities. But this time I caught the EVP. We didn't hear it at the time. Tony was probably about 5 feet from me, and I actually felt something on my shoulder that I thought was maybe a cobweb or something, but it wasn't. So
All right, let's play that one more time. Somebody said okay after. Did you actually hear that with your own ears?
no.
Okay, that was just coincidence then.
Yep.
Very cool. Okay,
Yeah, that's
so
very good.
Yeah.
the next one I'm going to play is, Chris, this one's titled Help.
Okay, so Audra and I, for those of you guys that don't know, we're very involved with the Montgomery County Historical Society here in North Carolina. And we've got the 1830s Montgomery House that we've made some donations. Southern Entities has made some donations to the Montgomery County House. They've let us do the investigation. They've given us the keys, and we have now opened it up for privates for paranormal
Nice.
group. And the first group is Spirits of the Southeast and Piedmont are going to be investigating on December 11th with Southern Entities.
Nice.
And Audra and I went by week before last,
A couple weeks ago, yeah.
and we were there for about 30 minutes because I help them maintain the building, and Audra goes through and cleans it to prep it for the investigations. I was spraying for bugs,
And I was getting the cobwebs
and Audra
out.
was cleaning, and she decided to record, and we caught these next 3 EVPs.
Oh,
Very
wow.
nice. Good time to be doing recordings, honestly.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Just go about your business. It works.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
If you
All
think
right.
about it too, not as extreme as construction, but people say when you do any kind of renovation, when you're doing something that's affecting the environment, the place itself, that might stir up activity. So that was really brilliant to have thought to record, because you are kind of stirring the environment a little bit.
Yep.
Yep.
And for everybody watching, this was 29 minutes of recording. We've got 3 EVPs from this house. So
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
All right. Here is that clip.
Are you talking? No.
the feed didn't come across. Can you play that one again?
Oh, yeah.
Try that again.
I heard something, but where's the words?
Are you talking? No.
That was very clear.
Yeah. So we were upstairs. Audra was across the hall working in what used to be the upstairs parlor. And I was in the other room spraying the room, and I actually heard it. Well, I didn't hear what it said, but I actually heard the voice. And that's why I asked her if she was talking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was very pronounced. That was very clear.
Yeah, it was. All right. So the next one I have is called I'm Back.
This one's interesting. We were just recording. Neither one of us said anything, and this just popped up on the recording.
I'm back.
Okay. Here is that clip.
Words didn't come across. I heard it.
Yeah.
Let's do that again. Yeah, that's very
That's a little
easy to hear.
More challenging to hear, if you ask me, but it's there.
It's there, though.
It's
Yeah.
there.
Well, what's interesting is we played on an earlier show one that we caught at Montgomery House of a male voice saying, the hell did he say? Crap, I just lost it. I'm not a ghost.
Yeah.
It's the same voice.
Ah,
Wow.
Yes. That's what I thought was interesting. It's the exact same voice. Well, it's the same sounding voice.
Yeah. No proof it's exact.
Yeah, we
same
can't
voice,
prove
but-
anything, but we can show you we found it.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Exactly.
you
And you can hear that if you compare the two, that the voice is similar. And that to me gives it additional support that it's truly happening, because how is that possible? You're getting the same voice. So that's
Right.
awesome.
absolutely. You could also always extra step it too, and even try to voice print it to see if it matches up the way you would do a voice match.
Yeah, I should put that other EVP up and voice match it. Yeah.
I bet it would, because if it sounds that much like it to your ear.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to play with that this weekend. Woo, good idea. More paranormal stuff.
Woo.
There you go. All right. So the next one is titled Leave Them.
So Audra was cleaning. This one's funny.
Cobwebs again.
She was talking about removing the cobwebs, and a male in the house apparently wants her to leave them there.
Wow. All right. Here is that clip.
Well, I'll set up the ceiling, and I'll get the cobwebs and stuff.
Yeah.
Quit cleaning my shit, woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was not having the Merry Maid service whatsoever.
I'm not paying for this crap, damn it.
Yeah. How's it going to be haunted if it doesn't have cobwebs?
Exactly.
That's criteria.
Right. That's why I don't dust. You know the saying, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I mean, that's my phone. I'm not wiping them up.
That's awesome.
All right. So
And
now
very
we
clear.
are going to move. Oh, wait a minute. No, I have a photo yet.
Yes, this one
This
is
is
awesome.
from, looks like Trans-Allegheny.
Trans-Allegheny. This one has a little bit of a story to it. So this
All
is
right.
not my picture. I will let you guys know that right now. I want to give credit where credit was due. The problem is I don't know who sent it. So Donna, who is with Spirits of the Southeast,
And she's on here tonight.
and she's watching right now, sent this
Hi,
to
Donna.
Carrie. And the reason she sent it to her is another investigator that was there that night with us at Trans-Allegheny when we were doing Dean's room on the third floor.
Mhm.
In the violent men's ward. I had stepped out into the hallway because Dean had given us a message that he wanted me to go out into the hallway to see what was out there. And there's a big long video. Eventually I'll cut it down so I can post it for everybody to see. It's too much to show on the show, but it was a great session that we had in that room.
Yeah.
So I'm standing in the hallway, and this is the first time in 25 years I've ever stood in a hallway where I saw 3 shadow figures. I saw one down at the end. There was one behind me in the room behind me that I felt turned and saw it, which actually startled me, which is hard to do because I don't get startled. But right before I turned and saw the one off to my right, a black mist formed on the wall, grew up to about the height of a person, walked down the hall and disappeared into a door. Well, I told everybody what was going on, and about 10 minutes later, we ended the session. Everybody came out and we started walking down the hallway. One of the investigators that was there with the group snapped this photo with a full spectrum camera, which validated what I saw, and they caught it on the red spectrum.
All right. Here's
Wow.
that photo.
So if you look really, really close, you can see shoulders, you can see a head. And if you scroll back down a little bit, Tony, I almost called you Stetson.
You know?
What the hell? Down the other way. See the very end of the hallway behind it?
Scroll back up.
Scroll back up. These hallways at Trans-Allegheny are about a football field length. Each floor is about 100,000 square feet. That is the end of the hallway and a very small exit sign way behind it. So whoever snapped this photo, unfortunately, if Donna can pop in and tell us who sent it to us, they sent this to Donna to send to me to show them, hey, we caught what you saw. And that is the extra long hallway. See the exit sign down at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't know they caught this until they got home.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, see, look, you see like a face
Yeah.
right there.
There's a face in there.
There's a
Can you
face in
see
there. You
the
can almost,
shoulders? You
Eyes,
see the
nose,
shoulders.
mouth, the face actually in
if
there.
you look really close, you can almost see a neckline of a shirt, a V neckline.
Right.
Oh
Right
yeah.
here.
There's
Oh, yeah.
ruffles right
Yeah.
here and here.
But I thought it was fantastic that this group that we had just met, that we started working with, that we're actually working with more in the future, actually said, "Hey, that thing you saw in the hallway, we caught it. Here you go," and they sent it to us.
It's a female.
That's pretty cool.
That
It
is
looks
cool.
like a female. You
Yeah.
think it was the mist that they caught or the shadow?
I think it was the mist. The two shadow figures I
Yeah.
saw were solid formed shadow figures.
Yeah,
The
that's
mist
what I'm
that I
thinking.
saw looked similar to this, except when I saw it with my own eyes, it was black.
Yeah, it looks like the mist. Yeah.
That
But they
definitely
snapped the
does
photo
look
with the-
female to me.
Yeah. But they snapped the photo right after we all came out. This was approximately maybe 5 minutes after I saw it with my eyes. But I thought it was
Wow.
cool that so that's what you call paranormal people. That's
Yep.
other groups in a location that just met for the first time said, "Hey, we want you guys to see this." Chris said he saw this. Look, I caught it on the red spectrum with the camera.
Actually, I agree.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Especially, and it is cool that they would send it to you because it corroborates something that's a real experience, but it's always harder to convey. It's like the joke you tell at home and go, "Oh, at the office today," and blah blah blah. Well, you had to be there. Well, they weren't there. They didn't see what you saw. But when someone can put this together with what you saw in the same location and time frame, that's pretty awesome.
It really does look like a female. It
Yeah.
really does look like a female.
Well,
Yeah.
just judging by, like you said, if you, and again, you're taking your own perspective of what you're seeing, but that looks like a dress. It looks like
Yes.
a V-neck. You can see her right arm and maybe just a faint indication of her left. It looks like the darker area around the white face looks like long hair.
Yes.
You never know. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me too, honestly.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Here's the spine tingling portion of this picture is the person that snapped this photo didn't know that was in front of them until they went back and reviewed their photos. Imagine that. That's
Yeah.
Well, there's the reason why people try to use full spectrum and other things to capture what our normal senses can't always. Well, unless you're Chris Allgood, of course, then you don't miss anything. But yeah, I mean that's fantastic that a device captured and corroborated what you saw and experienced.
Yeah.
and I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah.
That was just
It's awesome.
it was neat to
Very
see
cool.
somebody after the fact. I mean, this was like a week and a half, 2 weeks later
Mhm.
that we received this photo, and it was fantastic. I just thought that was awesome.
This way.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's a two-way street too, by the way, because either your story or this photo without the other is compelling, but more so when you compare them up to the moment, the instance, the place you saw it, like, and everything's tied together. You have more support for the experience and for the capture.
Right. That's an excellent point.
Okay, so Donna just confirmed that it's a lady's named Jody that was with us, and Jody is actually joining us in May. So I'll have to personally thank her for this photo when I see her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Jody needs to bring her camera.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, hang on to that camera, Jody, and make sure you
Right.
keep it everywhere, every investigation you go to, because that's fantastic evidence.
I agree.
And to back this up a little bit, we were there in August.
Right.
Now, granted, West Virginia is a little bit humid, but this was a contained building. The only thing swampy in that building was my butt because of how hot it was.
Well, hopefully no
So
full
correct.
spectrum pictures of that.
I know.
No, we didn't get full spectrum pictures of that until we got back to the hotel.
That poor camera.
Poor camera.
Tony, that's funny.
Exactly, Ben. Same here. Longer I keep staring at that picture, I can make out more details.
She's talking about the one from the hotel.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Not any of yours. No.
I do also. I really do love, and Tony and I are a little bit more on the tech use side and the audio side. But when when somebody like Chris says they see these things, and then they can corroborate it with other experiences or like with a photo or something like that, that's phenomenal to me, because I think a lot of times the fact that our energy and because everything being energy, we're part of the equation, and when something like that resonates to the point where Chris could see that, and he saw a couple of them, that's phenomenal. And I think sometimes that almost gets less attention than it should, because it's not he can't share what he saw in the moment with everybody else.
Right.
Except now with this, at least. But the fact that he can see that and sense that, and then somebody captured it and it's all paired together, that's awesome.
Yeah. He's been able to do that for as long as I've known him. I mean, I remember we were in the hospital and we're standing in the operating room, and Chris says, "There's a woman in here." And I'm thinking, what? Well, we played the recording back, and she's like, "You're right," and it is loud as can be.
And clear.
And I was like, "All right, there's your proof." Right.
We'll have to show that clip on one of our shows. That was the first big investigation that the four of us did together.
Right.
And Tony thought I was crazy. That's also the same night we caught the picture of the doctor at the end of the hallway.
Yep, you are correct.
That was a great investigation.
That was a good one.
That was. All right, we are going to switch over to Ron and Lourdes DRV. The first one I'm going to play is called Less Static, Can't Help.
You want me to set it up first? Oh, yeah. I mean, I can set it up. Basically, a lot of times that when I'm at work, there's a big boardroom at the end of the building. Nobody goes there for the most part. And so I'll read, write, I'll run ghost boxes. I'll run my Holte box. I'll run my QFX box by Austin Maynard. I don't have an Evox, or I'd run it. Just let me put that out there. I'd run it. And then I'll do a little DRV stuff sometimes with I'll use a small little Retekish radio, and I'll run just a small kit. And surprisingly, some interesting stuff. So this was one of the captures from that.
Awesome. Here, I took this share off. Okay, let me reshare the screen. Okay. There we go. And here is that clip.
Less static?
So I heard the first part of it in the moment.
Yeah, you did. You repeated it.
That was 2 months, maybe.
2 months.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, did you ask any specific question, like how is this transmitting, or was that in relation to anything that was asked, or just showed up?
That's a great question. I sometimes will ask if there's anything I can do to improve it. I'll ask if it's working. I don't know if you remember from one of the other ones we talked about that I showed before, when it said all this metal, not great reception. So a lot of times, unless I put the ghost boxes at sweep, unless I put them in the windowsill of that room, especially the AM, there's not a lot of fragmentation of sound to sweep through. But the direct radio is not reliant upon fragments of sound. It's just using the wave or whatever it's using for them to come through. And I don't remember. It wasn't a direct answer. Like, is this too much static or too little static? It may have just said less static can't help. And it could be because sometimes I'll use maybe one noise gate or filtration method just to kind of, you try to walk the tightrope between cleaning it up and killing it,
Right. Let's play that one more time.
Yeah, and let's listen close, everybody that's watching, because Ron focuses on the technical aspects on it, but listen to the tone of the voice, the emotion in the guy's voice, less static. He seems frustrated that he can't help, like he wants to communicate more. So listen close to that. That is phenomenal evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Less static?
That's a really interesting interpretation of it. That's cool.
That
And I don't
actually
know
was
if
great,
it's
Chris.
if it's a sharp P at the end of help or help
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh.
know. There's
Mm.
like there's another hard consonant there.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's possible. I went over it a bunch of times. I concluded help, but there is that little pop of a sound that could be a consonant at the end of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just want to make sure that, you know, Ron does a lot of the ITC stuff. So does Tony, and you know, some of the ghost box stuff. Pay really close attention to the responses you're getting, because it's a spirit communication, but the emotions there in a lot of these communications that Ron and Tony receive. And a lot of people overlook that because they're looking more towards the technical aspect. How did you catch it? What wave were you using? Were you using the reverse audio? Were you using the reverse sweep? Focus on the emotion in there, and that's what focuses on what the spirits are communicating. That's huge.
That's what a brilliant observation, because that goes across the boards for all of the communication stuff we do. Just with people communicating with people, like 55% of our communication is physiological, 33% of it is tonality, and then the other 12 is really the words or vocabulary we use. So if you take that into consideration, half of the normal communication that we're person to person used to is not even there. So the tonality is huge.
It's important.
Huge. So
It's
I mean,
important.
you brought up that's a brilliant point to bring up for any audible evidence.
I agree. Excellent point. Excuse me. And once again, Chris pulls phenomenal information out of something we probably would not have seen. So excellent point.
I overanalyze. Sorry, guys.
No, that's a great thing, though.
Never
It's great.
apologize for that, ever.
Yeah.
If somebody said you get $1 million, you either have to beat Michael Jordan in one-on-one or you have to play hide and seek with Chris Allgood, I would look into that first option. And I'm short.
Oh yeah, you're screwed because I cheat.
Too funny.
Holy
But
cow.
great
What a
points.
Yeah.
All right. The next one I'm going to play, Ron, is called No, Don't Ask.
This was Anthony Seminelli may or may not be present in this video. I'm just saying. We were in the ITC exhibit that Air experienced at the New Jersey Paraunity Expo, and the room next door to us was filled with haunted dolls and objects. And everybody who went into that room came into ours, vice versa, and everybody who came out of that room was like, so Anthony and Ben Jenkins, Tom Bodell from Motel 6.
I swear it was him.
Ron, leave it on.
That's why I love Ben. So Anthony asked if any of the communications, you'll hear the question. He was asking a question with what we were getting, because we ran live direct radio a lot through the expo, was anything to do with the room or the spirits coming over from the room next door.
Okay. Here is that clip.
Are you from next door from any of those objects?
That was super clear.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Tony, play that again. Audra caught something. She said
It might be, but it sounds like it says in front of the yes or in front of the no, don't ask. It almost sounds like it says yes, sir.
Yes,
Right.
I agree with you. I thought it said yes.
Okay.
Not
Listen
yes, sir, but yes, I caught that.
listen close. It might be two voices.
I think it's
Yes. Yes.
All right.
So let's see. Let's check it out.
Play that again.
Are you from next door from any of those objects?
Excellent catch by you guys both. Excellent catch. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounded like it almost sounded like it was there twice. I
Yeah.
heard it, yes, sir, and then I heard it again before it said don't ask.
Yeah, I agree.
That was really cool.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was a good question that he thought to ask, because that environment was it probably was intermingling
Right.
with the room next door.
I just saw the comment. We'll keep the light on for you. That's
Oh yeah.
other
Well,
people in the audience too are saying I heard yes.
I heard a yes.
Sounded like two different voices.
I think it's two different voices. Yep.
Yeah.
So true.
Well, the show is called Entity Voices, not Entity Voice.
That's right.
That's a good point.
And they can disagree, right?
Yes.
Just like us. They can
Yes.
disagree.
No, yes, no. Yes.
So here's a good question from one of our viewers, guys.
How in the world can you understand what the entities are saying? Well, some of it's training. I'll let Ron answer it because
Well, yeah, some of it
is equipment.
No, some of it's a familiarity. Same thing with Ghost Box, stuff, anything else. There is a certain learning to being able to listen to this stuff. We have an inborn sense of pattern recognition. So, and I've likened it before. Like if you took a helicopter ride over some area you'd never seen before, you wouldn't recognize anything the first pass. The second go around, you would start picking up reference points and go, "Oh, all right, now I saw that before. I saw that." And every pass over that, you start gaining a cohesive picture of what it is you're examining or looking at. So the pattern recognition with your audible senses are the same. You'll pick that up the same way. So there is a certain learning how to do it. One of the things we try to do, and every version of ITC pretty much does, is to try to remove artifacts of sound that are not at least suggestive of speech, to try to pull it away. So we were running an AI component with this, also filtering it, which is meant to separate the sound from the background. And I think it has less pops. It has less audible fragments that may come in through the white noise or might sound like it could be something. But a lot of times, like with the static one, like I heard less static. I didn't hear the other part of it. Sometimes some of the words are more pronounced and those jump right out at you and you hear them. Sometimes not. And one of the other clips Tony's going to play that I have from the Shenley Hotel, it's a whole sentence. It's like a whole couple of phrases, and I caught parts of it. But that's one of the challenges between, like you were mentioning, all the emphasis on the tech. Some of the emphasis is also on us as an operational part of the progress and the process, and we need to consistently try to find ways to improve our ability to discern what's coming through in the moment. And that's where we kind of meet halfway with the tech and with what we're doing and trying to pick it out and have real dialogue as best we can.
And then in relation to EVPs, when you're reviewing recordings, one, you get an ear for it, and two, situational awareness. I mean, like Aaron's asking, do they talk at a pretty quick pace? Sometimes they talk at a really fast pace. Sometimes they talk at a slow pace. And then you get used to it with experience. For some of you green investigators out there that are watching, it's reviewing the evidence and getting used to knowing when you hear something. That situational awareness is huge. Knowing where you're at, knowing who's in the room with you, knowing what sounds are being made, knowing what sounds are being projected from the exterior of the building, what sounds are being injected from the interior of the building. And then when you listen to a recording and something pops out that you know wasn't there at the time, you can go back and listen to it. Now you've got your Class A, your Class B, and your Class C EVPs. Class C is almost inaudible. It's just something that you learned as a trained investigator. When you're reviewing, you catch it and you go, wait a minute, something's there. And then you can enhance it with your audio equipment. Your Class B is you hear something's there, you enhance it with your audio equipment, and then you can draw out exactly what it's saying. Your Class A is loud and clear. You can't misunderstand it at all. It's shouting at you, and you catch it. But the clearest thing that Audra and I have talked about recently when reviewing is those EVPs don't sound like they're in the room sometimes. Sometimes they sound like it's a completely separate like it's embedded in the audio that it wasn't there at the time. You didn't hear it. You know who was in the room. You know who was speaking. You know who was whispering. Don't whisper when you investigate. But it's a lot of it's training, and a lot of it sometimes, like the Class A's pop out or the DVR pops out, and you can clearly understand it. So experience has a lot to do with it, but it's knowing your surroundings is huge.
And I'm sorry, Tony, but when you're like with the listening and training yourself. It also happens with spirit boxes. Sometimes people may not realize, but it's sweeping, and you'll get a word. You get another word. And then that creates a sentence. But people are so into like
what they're used to,
and listening to what's in between. But if you really listen carefully, sometimes it comes in fragments. Is using spirit boxes, because it'll be and then it'll be a whole sentence.
Yeah.
And if you're not looking for that, you'll miss it.
Right.
You'll
You
miss
get the
that.
1 or 2 words, you can think that 1 or 2 words is it. I will give you one of the best examples of being able to hear audible evidence when it is at a rapid or faster than human speech pace. And that example is Tony Rathman. If you watch the EVP the tour, the episodes, he captioned and he caught a lot of things. I submitted stuff to him. I go, it says this, and this. And he's like, and there's stuff that's in there that's faster than normal cadence, and he catches it. And he catches a lot of it. And that's training, and that's having an educated ear and a sensibility that has been practiced.
Thank you for that, Ron. And the other big thing is record it and review, because you'll only catch maybe 40% of what's coming out live. It is the review process through the recording. I don't care. Obviously, that's an absolute necessity for EVP, but Spirit Box, DRV, that's when you can go back and you can hear it again and again and again, which also helps in that training process.
Yes.
And to add what Tony is saying, record everything.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have video and you're watching the video, take that video, take a piece of software, convert that video to audio, and review the audio. Because sometimes that video has EVPs that is embedded in the audio that you don't catch when you're reviewing the audio or the video, I mean. So record everything, people. Always record everything, because the spirits will choose how they want to communicate. They don't choose how we want them to communicate.
All right. So we got a question that says, how often do you capture foreign languages, and does that help provide clues identifying a possible source, like a past resident? I know Cherie and I, when we were in the Philippines, we were at the Diplomat Hotel. We had English, Tagalog, which is the native language of the Philippines, Latin, and Japanese. Now, the Philippines went through the American World War with the Japanese. They were there. They had taken over. We had forced them out, so that explains the Japanese. The Diplomat Hotel, prior to being a hotel, was a monk and nun retreat, and they were of Latin origin, so that explains the Latin. The English, obviously, the American soldiers were there too, and Tagalog, well, that was the native language of the people. So does that help support the location? Absolutely, it did.
Because that happened to us in the Glen Tavern.
Yeah, that's right.
If we had responses in Spanish, and the prostitutes and what happened there. And
with Adam Nodler and his girlfriend Pamela from SIU, Supernatural Investigation Unit. Him and her and Pamela were speaking in Spanish. We were using a Memorex hack radio, and they were asking questions, and we would get, you're just sweeping your C, and it would like say other stuff in Spanish. We're like, holy cow!
So then we started asking questions in Spanish, and we got responses.
I got high school Spanish. I'm going to be quiet now. Go.
Well, you guys will hear me punch the point of situational awareness too. Situational awareness is not just knowing your surroundings; it's also knowing the history of the location you're in. We have caught Native American words in areas where Native Americans were very strong. We did the Devil's Tramping Ground, where we caught some Native American stuff. You will see in a future show, we've got some friends of ours that are up here in North Carolina that will be on a future show. She's got an EVP of a Native American word that I translated for her. So when you're doing your review and you hear things that you think don't make sense, do the research.
Yes.
So what you see on TV is the sports clips, the highlight reels, the red zone. The actual biggest part of an investigation is the review.
Yep.
If you get something, thank you. If you get something on a review that doesn't make sense to you, start looking it up. Try and do the hooked on phonics word for me. Try and put that word together. Like I'm not going to mention any names because I don't want to ruin a future episode. But there's an EVP coming up on a future episode that's actually a Native American word that means to you. And most people wouldn't have caught that except for a trained ear. I was helping them do the review, and I caught it, and I'm like, hang on a minute. And I started doing the research, and the area that they were doing the paranormal research in and that they were doing the investigation in was very heavy in Native American, and that was a Native American word. So pay really close attention to the EVPs you're getting and do the research when you do the review. Review takes forever, people.
It's the boring aspect.
It's the boring
of
part of the investigation.
But it's so worth it.
It
It's
is.
so worth it.
And so important to do it as well.
Yep.
All right. The next one I have, Ron and Lourdes, is called Orange Beverage.
This is another lunchtime session. And we've done sessions since the beginning of doing direct radio about 3 years ago, where we would every so often just see if there was any visual connection. Can you see the couch color or whatever? Just, and we wouldn't focus primarily on things like that, but just as an establishing, question we would ask. So I happened to ask because I had an orange flavored beverage next to me, and I was just curious, since I've gotten some good DRV recordings at that place, if it was anything where I was visible there. Maybe some places they can see us and some places they can't. And we don't know. So I asked the question, and I was pretty convinced they could when I was done listening to it.
All right. Hear that clip. Maybe.
I think sometimes it has happened with Chris's stuff too. Sometimes the first pass on the video doesn't play it.
Yeah.
And then the second pass, you see the annotations or whatever.
Yeah, it's almost like it doesn't pull it up fast enough.
Yeah.
Can you see the color of my beverage or no? Can you see the color of my beverage or no?
That's a yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Lourdes, you caught that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did too. The
yeah,
second
and
one's a
orange.
yeah, and it's two different voices. It's two different men.
Yeah.
Two different voices. I heard that part.
Yes, yeah, orange. Yeah.
That orange was clear as can be. And yeah, the two yeses before it were awesome because it was a double question. Can you see it and what color is it? And it nailed it. So awesome catch. Awesome catch.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. That's one of the things I love about doing direct radio. When we talked before minutes ago about how you capture 40% in real time, but then you catch more of it in review. In earlier European direct radio pre-Ghost Box, they were catching far greater percentages, often 100% of a dialogue like we're having in real time through a vacuum tube radio. So from what I've seen, that predates, we're standing on the shoulders of these giants as far as I'm concerned with what we're doing. I'm not pioneering anything that hasn't been done and hasn't been done superior to what I'm doing. But I'm chasing the brass ring, and a lot of times in cases like this, I feel like it's behind me. Sometimes change of direction, run backwards is now forwards.
Good point. Good point. All right. So the next one I have is called Thank You for Speaking Here.
I like this one.
Same place. This is me doing it again. I know what you're thinking. This guy probably packs a lunch.
Okay, lunch.
Well, he doesn't pack it. I pack it.
That's true. That's true. She packs the lunch, but I don't go out to lunch. Like I'm not doing this in the back of a cafe.
Of a roach coach in the parking lot.
Exactly. Not that I wouldn't do it, Chris. All good. Not that I wouldn't. But
All
yes.
right. Here is that clip.
Wow.
Right?
That was in response to me saying thank you.
Let's play that one more time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's cool.
So everybody's making fun of Ron because he does this in the back boardroom at his work.
I do.
But
I can't sit at the cool table.
Was that Anthony?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anthony, Ron can't
Of course
sit at the
it was.
pool
Oh,
table.
okay.
So the point I was getting ready to make is it's not always where you're at, it's the history of the location that you're in.
Right.
So where is your approximately, we don't want to tell everybody where Ron works in case we've got stalkers out there, but approximately, I mean, you think you work in New York, correct?
No, New Jersey.
Okay, you work in New Jersey. Okay, we're talking one of the first settled places in the United States was the northeastern United States. The history and the land that everything is built on there is huge. So we never know how old the spirit is or how long that spirit's been around that's responding to Ron. And everybody assumes that they're stuck in the location that Ron's talking in. No, they might just be stuck on the property that Ron's in, or they're passing through.
Right. They could be transient also. If we're talking about communication with a realm or dimension that is not bound by space-time, that is one of the big things that we always say too. And whenever I speak, I'll always bring up that you can't determine that a location by definition is haunted purely on getting anomalous vocals, because I can get them anywhere.
Mhm.
Right.
So they might be rooted in the land. That was Lenape Indian grounds, I believe, in its origin. And it
All
could be
this
from
was-
that. Yep, all this was. It could be from that. It could be something previous structure. There's a variety of things that could explain it. But what you're explaining, Chris, is a huge chunk of that, what you called the situational awareness, which is knowing what the history of the place and the location in the building, whatever it might be. Because if you get evidence that corroborates to that, now you've got more of a connection to embolden what you've caught.
True. Good point.
So
Very
Chris
good.
keeps bringing that up, and I think it's important that he does, because that is another way to embolden what you got, and the authenticity of it.
And educating the people of it, because people don't think about stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, it's not. The reason I keep bringing it up because that's huge for me. It's not just knowing the location that you're in and for the safety reasons and where you're experiencing it and all the things around you, but it's also the history behind every location. What has been there before you? That's what's important. What still has the possibility of passing through? Everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everything still has the possibility of passing through. Do I go into a location blind?
It doesn't last long if he does.
It
does not
Aaron,
last long.
Aaron,
Like a flash cube.
honestly, to answer your question, Aaron, yeah, most of the time I do go in blind. When somebody starts telling me hot spots and stuff like that, I'll tune them out. Because Tony can vouch for this, Audra can vouch for this, and we're going to be doing this in May, is the first thing I do when I enter a location is I walk the entire place by myself.
He does.
I walk the entire place by myself because I want to feel the energy of the building. I ground myself with the building. I want to feel the history of the building, and I want to feel what happened there before me. And I want to do it by myself with no one around. And then I place my equipment where I feel that the energy is the strongest. I don't place my equipment where history tells me things are haunted. I place my equipment where I'm feeling the energy, and that's where we catch most of our evidence. And I'm not saying I'm a medium. I never claim to be a medium. I just know that I'm sensitive, and I'm really sensitive to energy, and I'm attentive to what's going on around me. And a lot of the times I don't know if it's my imagination or if I don't know it's the spirits talking to me, but that's where I place my equipment to catch my evidence. So yeah, I go in blind as much as I possibly can.
I wonder if that's like a personal thing, because like I feel like I like going off by myself too, to feel out the area and where I think, not that where I think, but like certain rooms may give me a certain type of energy, and I like doing it by myself.
Yeah.
I really don't want someone around me. I don't know why.
Well,
I don't know if it's a personal thing.
it is.
or-
It's absolutely personal.
I
And not to
guess.
belabor the point, but if you go off of the concept Rupert Sheldrake from the SPR had said about morphogenic fields and the collective consciousness and how we're all part of the equation and the energy that is in the room or in the environment when we're doing something, then other people's energies, the same way if you're around somebody who's very negative and you'll feel it and it may drain you, even if the person's positive, they still have their own energy, they still have their own vibe going on. And it is something that is still a modicum of interference to your radar and what you're trying to pick up.
That's what I'm saying, because sometimes I just feels like it interferes with what it's not the same
Makes sense.
when I do it by myself.
Makes sense.
Right.
Yeah. So is that the same for you? Chris?
Yeah.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
I don't like knowing the history of a location. I don't like knowing the hot spots going in. We're going to announce it soon. We're trying to plan a trip to Waverly for all of us to get together next year sometime, and I will literally walk the entire. I don't care if you tell me how scary this building is. I don't care if you tell me how nasty this building is. I will walk the building by myself. And I will literally hold my hand on the wall and close my eyes until I can see the history of the building moving around me like it's alive again. And
So
that's
does it-
when I'm connected to a building.
So is it, if you do it with someone else, does it interfere with that feeling that you get? Is that what it is? That's why you do it by yourself?
The energy of the other person interferes with what I'm feeling, me connecting to the location.
That's the MP energy. That's
Okay.
morphogenic field.
All right.
Well, the other point too is that most of the stories that are out there aren't even accurate. So
Right.
listening to them most of the time doesn't help because they're manufactured or changed or so, I think there's some real consistency in going off and seeing what you pick up on your own rather than going off of what you were told or heard. So that's good advice. Okay. We are getting close to the hour mark here. So I just want to make a note that if anyone is listening on the KGRA audio channels, you can switch over to either their Facebook, their YouTube, or Entity Voices Facebook or YouTube if you want to continue watching, because I think Ron's got 1, 2, 3, 4 DRVs left, and then we're going to get to some of the stuff that Cherie and I did. So if you're listening, KGRA is going to switch over to their next scheduled program, but if you want to continue watching, Facebook or YouTube, either KGRA or Entity Voices.
We will finish, we promise.
Yeah, we'll keep the explanation short for the next few direct radios. Just
Okay, so the next one is titled "This Parkinson, It Killed Me."
All right, so here's the brief setup of that one. It's me. I'm at lunch.
Good.
Surprise!
Go.
All right, here is that. Oh wait, hold on.
The one time I don't blab. The one interesting thing I'll say about that is I did have an uncle that passed away not that long ago, and that was what did him in.
Oh,
yeah. I don't know that it's him. I cannot prove that it was him. If it started swearing, I would have been sure it was him. But maybe.
Oh, wow.
That was great, though. I mean, you couldn't miss what was being
No,
said.
not at
That
all.
was clear as a bell. Okay, so the next one I have is titled Log 137.
Oh, I love this one.
Yeah. All right. So we're here, not lunch. And it was me and Lourdes doing a direct radio sitting like we usually do. We had Anthony Simonelli on the phone, remoting in video-wise with Google Duo. He is audio, video. He's part of it. We were logging session 137, and we asked, just as a reference point, if they could hear us, if they could tell us the name of the session, the number. I asked, then she asked, and then this.
All right, here is that. Oh, wait, sorry.
We heard this 100% in the moment.
Yeah, we heard it at the moment.
In the moment.
Cool.
Yeah,
All of it.
you'll see by our reaction.
If you can hear us, can you say log 137?
Would you be kind to repeat the log number 137, please? Like that we know you're listening to us, that you can hear us.
Yes,
He said it.
137 in a row. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
That was
Yes.
very clear.
Yeah.
Before that, you can hear it say "okay,"
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
"okay, I'm gonna do it for you." Okay,
And then yes at the end.
yes. So
Like you guys got so excited that it went yes.
Yeah, we were floored because we heard the whole thing in real time. Anthony heard it too. He was like wow on the other end on the phone.
Huh.
That was great, though. I mean,
it's very clear.
every single one of those numbers, clear as a bell as to what they were. So that was nice.
That's one of those things when you talk about statistical probability and whether or not you're
Exactly.
getting bleed through. When we were on a vacant, static, no broadcast frequency on long wave, and it repeated the number that pronounced right when we asked for it.
And like it made like space 1, 3,
Yeah.
7. It's not like 1, 3, 7. It's like 1. Make sure that we heard.
And don't ask me.
Right.
Yeah.
Or another great example of that is we talk about spirits having to build energy to respond. It's also a good example of maybe that was the energy it took to 1,
Oh, that's
3,
true.
Possible,
7.
yeah.
That may be possible. Yep. But
That's
either
good.
way, it was clear, and I was
That was
like,
clear as
right.
hell, yeah.
awesome, and we thank you.
Okay, I have one more, and this one's from the Shanley Hotel. It's called 3 a.m. Books.
Oh yeah, this is good too.
So this one's a longer phrase, and this one has the part it mentions about autograph, and it says it faster than normal human speech cadence. Short version: NJPP, New Jersey Paranormal Project. Rich Michella invited us to the Shanley. We did the investigation. We ran direct radio. At the time of this clip, it was 3 a.m. You'll hear it say that. That's the part I heard in the moment, and I repeated it. Before that, it makes reference to eyes and allergies, and you'll hear it say that the books were not autographed. And Rich has his second book out, and he brought initial copies that he got, the first print of them, and he gave them to me. I wrote a section of it for him. So it may well have been talking about either of us, even though technically it is far more his book, of course. But usually, you give somebody a book, you may sign it. So he didn't sign his books. I wouldn't have signed it, but I mean, either way, it was completely irrelevant to all that.
Cool.
All right, here is that clip.
Yeah. Yeah. The water was up and out.
Three a.m. That's what time it is.
That was great. That was fantastic.
That was a lot of talk that night. There was a lot of talk that night. We didn't even get through the whole thing yet.
Wow.
Wow, that is phenomenal. That is the same voice repeating over and over again how he feels, what he senses, what's going on.
It's full sentences too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
It's full sentences. It's complete sentence thought. Whatever they're thinking is just, that's what I love about DRV is you full interact of whatever it is they're going to say. It doesn't seem to have a time limit like a spirit box does.
Right.
The most intriguing part about that is to know the history behind it and know who is mostly common there, who is most prominent there. That has to be somebody that loved that place, that has frequented that place, that stays at that place, that just loves being around that place. That is phenomenal evidence, Ron. That is, you guys are awesome.
That's so cool.
The method, and there's a couple people I'm talking to now who are interested in doing DRV. I'm happy to help anybody. It's so much less complicated than yeah. It sucks to still have allergies in the after. That's true. That's hilarious. That's true. Yeah, it's fun. Again, we haven't even scratched the surface of what European folks did with less tech than we're using, but we're chasing it.
Cool.
All right. I only have 2 clips to play.
What the hell?
People, they're longer than yours.
Oh, okay.
People always ask us why we got involved in ITC and how that happened. Now, I think to date, Cherie and I have built 13 different spirit boxes. And what I'm going to play for you is just sort of a snippet in time of different spirit boxes we've used, the kind of responses we've gotten from them, and what you'll basically hear why our interest got involved in it and why we continued to go down the path that we're going. So let me start by playing the first one. I think this one's 2 minutes. But
Sweet.
This is not every box we've ever built. If I did all that, this would have been an hour-and-a-half show just on this alone. So, but anyway, here is the first clip. Again, this is not DRV. It is not EVP. This is Spirit Box. Here's that clip.
Can you take account of how many of you are there right now and tell me how many spirits there are? 200. Did you say 200?
Do you want to introduce yourself?
To them?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we don't even know we have anything. Hold off on that.
Did you go somewhere? Did you have fun? What did you do today? You have a job?
Hopefully.
Lots of them. Tell me what I'm holding in my hand. What is this object that I'm holding in my hand? That's a knife. Exactly. Thank you.
Have anything? Hold off on that.
Hello.
Okay. Tell me what I'm holding up. Thumb. Exactly. Very good. This is stupid. I'm sorry. So I'm going to hold up a word, and I want you to tell me what the word is. This is the word. Okay, here it is. What does this word say? Speak one at a time, please. Okay, that sounded like happy. All right, so we're going to do another word now. Here's the word. All right, tell me what this word says. Smile. That is absolutely right. Good job.
All right.
Good.
Yeah, that was like going to the archery range and not being able to miss the bullseye if you wanted to.
That was really,
wow.
really
That
good.
was fantastic.
Yes.
People always ask why we went down that road. I mean, I think pretty much from the very first spirit box, and the very first spirit box was just basically the Huff portal. It wasn't even a spirit box. It was an enhancement to make it sound better. What's that, Chris?
It's mine.
Ah,
everybody watching, everybody watching,
Chris.
that spirits box that Tony was using is in my closet. Tony gave it to me because he loves me so much.
I did.
I have it in my closet. It is mine.
He does
Yeah,
have it.
I'll tell you what, Tony, that first the Huff portal and those after effects and the pedals, those modify or enhance the sound to make what you're getting more audible, clearer, cleaner. But the connection is the radio itself, the sweeping box itself, and I think this is an important aspect of it because the consistency of quality in that whole freaking clip has to speak something to you. You and the radio are more integral to what's happening than the portal. That's cleaning up what you're getting, but you're getting what you're getting because of that device and you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I want to add to what Ron's saying. So you've got Audra and I who are old school. We do EVPs, we do EMFs, we go in there. I go off a gut feeling. I go off of what I feel. Then you have Ron and Lourdes that do the DRV, the ITC, all the advanced technology stuff that gets the emotion, that gets the connection. Tony and Cherie are this group. For all of you that are watching, is I love dearly, is because we are so connected. And Tony and Cherie are the glue that pulls us together because they're the EVPs, they're the old school, connected with the DVR and the ITC, and that pulls this group together that makes EVP and EVPI what we are.
Yep.
And I can tell you right now, the boxes that Tony creates are phenomenal. We have gone to private home investigations where I've gone off my gut feeling, and we brought in Joe. Joe's a demonologist that helped us out at a location, and Joe and I had feelings of multiple spirits. We had feelings of portals, and Tony's apparatuses that he builds gave us names to chase and follow, so we knew how to help the people that we were there investigating for, and to help protect them and to rid their home of the spirits that were bugging them and keeping them from living a happy life. And the key was Tony's boxes that he creates. I just want to point that out, that Tony and Cherie are friends of ours, and we love them dearly. And the stuff that, and their family, and Ron and Lourdes are family, and all of us have this glue that brings us all together, and Tony and Cherie in the center of that. And the stuff that Tony creates is phenomenal.
Yep.
I agree. You have on a materialistic, mechanical side of life, right? You have people who can build tremendously gifted and accelerating and these amazing cars, right? And then you have other people whose profession it is to drive and to control and to perform with these cars. So you have an operator and you have a builder. And in ITC, a lot of times the roles are so separated, but there are people who do what we do who are gifted as operators and gifted as builders. And Tony's one of those guys.
Thank you. I have one more clip. It's along the same lines. Spirit box is getting more advanced, and of course, better responses. So here,
better than that.
Yeah.
Here's that next clip.
Lip, are you the same spirit that we talked to in our kitchen? Could you please answer and tell me if you are that same spirit? Because we have talked before, haven't we? It is. Thank you, Lip. It's good to talk to you. Wonderful. I'm getting chills, Lip. How you doing, Lip? Great. So glad to hear that. Good.
How many spirits are with me right now that I'm communicating with? Can you tell me that? 5. Thank you. Maybe 5? A bit more. Thank you very much. I appreciate you responding. Is it easy to communicate with this box? But it does help me produce better equipment that I can hear you better. Is this box easy to use? It's perfect? Good. What other spirits are with me? Tell me your name. Jim. Jim? How you doing, Jim? Good, Jim. Who else is with us? David. Did I hear David? Arthur. Hello. Who was that? Sorry, I didn't catch the name. All right, let's pick a different word. How about elephant? Can you say elephant? Nice. That I heard. I didn't really hear it. Can you say my name so I know I'm talking to intelligent spirits? Heard that. Welcome, Tony. Hello. Who said welcome, Tony? I heard you very clear. Spirits, can you tell me what ship we're on? What ship are we on? Say the name.
Wow.
So
that's fantastic.
Thank
Yeah.
you. That just gives
It's
you an
insane.
idea. I mean, oh my gosh, there was probably 11 years worth of clips in there. Some of them very badly edited, but we're working on it.
No,
they were good.
That was fantastic. Two things: the consistency. Oh yeah, the consistency of how good those vocals were. Your name came through tons of times, and that pose you were in, something you only see in Victoria's Secret.
Right.
It was so
You-
funny
you
because
can-
I
You
was
can
telling
see
Ron
my wife
about it.
making comments. I don't think anyone will be making fun of you of doing DRV at work when she's like, yeah, he always does that on the bed.
Hey, listen, if your centerfold pose works, and clearly it does.
That's right. And sometimes P doesn't stand for phenomenon.
Good point. Good point. What a great clip. That is so much clarity and relevance and timing, like just wrapped up in one video. That's fantastic.
It was awesome. It was very, very awesome.
It's
Good
what-
stuff in there.
And for everybody watching, that right there is why Tony and Sheree are the glue that holds this group together.
Every one of this group has special qualities, and that's what makes this group so amazing. But thank you for saying that. It started out for us like I said, I didn't believe. Cherie got me down the path. I started to go, something's going on here. And then when we started doing ITC, it just kept coming. The answers just come. That was probably 1/3. You maybe saw 4 or 5 boxes in there. You didn't even see the other 13 that we've used, and they've all done some pretty incredible stuff, except for 2 of them. Those were complete flops. But anyway, it's fun to go back and look at, what you've captured over the last 11 years. And, you start to take a look at it from a, 30,000 foot level and go, okay, this stuff isn't random. My name's not coming through like that random. And the first one, they even called me Anthony. It was right after. And wow, that I never hear anymore. It's always Tony or Tony Rothman. I don't hear Anthony much.
Unless you're in trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I guess because they know that everyone calls you Tony. Most people call you Tony. So,
but it shows the intelligence, right? It shows the intelligence level.
Yes.
Because had everyone been calling me Anthony, they would have kept saying Anthony, because that first one did, and that was an old one. But they didn't. They say Tony now, and that shows the intelligence. But all right, it is
comfortable with you.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, and it shows maybe that they're comfortable with you too. They're comfortable with you. Yeah.
It does help. No doubt about it. Yeah. Have you ever used a spirit box
with an external mic?
With an external microphone. With an external microphone on a spirit.
How would you do that? Through a mixing board? Or you talk like running a separate channel? Because there's no mic input on the SB7.
Yeah, if you're talking about recording on a separate device, we've done that multiple times through high-end recorders, through multi-track recorders. We've even picked up spirit boxes on parabolic mics that we were running. But if you're talking about recording it within the spirit box itself, no, that we've never integrated that circuitry to record what's coming through.
Yeah, the only box I've ever seen that has the internal function to do that was that S box that Ghost Stop came out with.
Right.
The problem with it is that it doesn't record you; it records the sweep. So the timing and relevance that we talk about that gives you authenticity of evidence, you lose that aspect of it because it only gets when it says knife, and it doesn't get you saying what's in my hand. And then it says it.
It doesn't get the question. It only gets the response, and it kind of loses the evidence.
The effect. Right.
Yes.
Validity of it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Correct. All right. Well, I want to give a special thank you to KGRA, to our producer, Bill Skywatcher. I want to say thank you to everyone in the audience who took the time to participate along with us tonight. Thank you very much. And Chris or Audra or both, do you want to give our closing?
You didn't make me do it. What was that? Do it again.
The curtain.
Oh, the curtain.
Wait. Let him. Wait. Let's
do it again. That is awesome.
I'm a clown.
Well, for everybody watching, we do shows like this to show you what our passion is, what our goal is. We don't just bring investigators on to show what they show and what they catch and what they capture. We also do this because we absolutely love it. And if you're not paying really close attention, the 6 of us love each other completely and totally. And the only way we do that is because we all stay haunted.
Yeah.
Have a good night, guys. We'll see you next week.
Good night.